How's it going, everyone? Back with another exciting EverQuest adventure. So today we're going to be learning how to walk a pet. And you might be asking yourself, well, what is walking the pet? Or maybe you've seen it like in Guild. Hey, I need to walk my pet, and you're wondering what it is. Or maybe you already know what it is, but you just like have never seen it in action, and you want to learn how to do it. And that's what we're going to do in this video today. I'm going to show you how to walk a pet and a little bit of the mechanics that are behind it. First off, let's start on what is walking a pet. Essentially what it is you're using your pet to travel through a KOS area with KOS mobs, so that you can park it in a location where a raid boss spawns, so that you can get the FTE, and then you get FTE, and then the taggers tag it out, and then everybody's happy, and we get fat loots. That's essentially in a nutshell. You're just using your pet to walk through a KOS area to get up to a boss or a raid mob's spawn location so that you can get FTE. Now you might ask yourself, well, how do you do that? And I asked myself the same question. I just learned how to do this last night. I was like, well, how the heck do you do that? Because, I mean, man, you're going to get like, it's just going to get one-shotted by any dragons, and the crap's going to come to you, and then it's going to eat you. So, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it. So right now we are in TOV, and we are in the main entrance, and I'm going to use this as like an example on how to walk the pet, and then go over the mechanics and why that it works. So let's go ahead and we're going to travel over into west, up over to here, because that's where KOS mobs are. So come through the picture room. If you want to practice this, watch the video, pause it as I go along and whatnot. If you have questions, hit me up in game. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone has. In the future, I might do updates as I learn more, because I did just learn this, and guys, it's a wonderful tool to have in your tool belt. It'll make you a little more valuable if you know how to do all these little intricate things in the game. And before last night, I had no clue. I heard people talking about it in Guild. I was like, what the heck does that mean? Like walking the pet. So anyways, we are going to be traveling into west right here, and there's this Zim guy right here, and over here is west. So you see, I can con him. He is ally. He is on COV faction. If you do not have COV faction, you cannot do this. And then right down here is where all the mean guys start. So watch, all target him, con him. He cons Scowling, ready to attack, and they hurt. And don't ask me how I know, because while practicing this, I messed up and I got eaten. But it was an adventure, and it was fun. So first things first, you need to be a Feign Death class, and you need to have a pet. So what are the Feign Death classes and pet classes? Well, you have a Necromancer, and you have your Shadow Knights. And using Feign Death, we can use all those mechanics to make our pet walk through to KOS areas. Now, how does that work? Okay, if you feign death, you will con indifferent to all the mobs. So here I have this guy targeted. I'm going to feign death. I feign death. Now watch, I calm him. He now cons indifferent. When you have a pet out and you feign death, that indifferent status transfers over to your pet, so then your pet will be indifferent. All right, so that's how that the feign death mechanics work. That indifferent status transfers over to your pet, and monsters and mobs and KOS mobs will not attack it because you are feign death. Now, when you stand up, your KOS status transfers over to your pet. Your pet then is KOS, and then everything is going to come eat it and kill it, and then it's going to run to you, and it's going to freaking front kick you right in the face. All right, so let me show you an example of this. First things first are macros. Macros are very important for this. You're going to want to have a pet kill or a pet attack macro, Mine I have bound to R for pet kill. And then the next one, which this one is vital, is your pet back macro. And essentially what it does is calls your pet back, pauses, and then pet guard. You don't have to have the pause in there if you have good latency, but sometimes my latency gets pretty crappy, so I like to have it in there. So this macro right here is vital. Create this macro now for following along. And you don't have to have it bound to keys how I do. It's just I've been doing it for so long because I play an enchanter and I charm, and charming on my bar that I'm getting into, so I can easily control my pets with R and T because that's what I have it bound to. You can totally click the buttons, have them over here in your action bars, click the buttons if you want. However you want to do it, that is up to you, but having this is vital. All right, so how it works is you pet kill, and then you pet back and pet guard, and essentially it'll bump forward. Your pet's going to go forward a little bit and then stop and guard. It's going to go forward a little bit and then stop and guard. And using that, we can traverse our pet through dangerous areas. Okay, so that's how the macros work. Set these up now if you're following along. Okay, next thing you are going to want to have is SiteGraph. You've got to have SiteGraphed up to SiteGraphed onto your pet so you can see. And then the next thing you're going to want to have is a pet. So I just use the level 1 pet because it only costs 1 bone, and it's cheap on mana. Is that my level 1 pet? Yeah. So get a level 1 pet up. It doesn't really matter what level of pet that you use, but just have some sort of pet up. Okay. Next, we are going to summon our pet, and don't summon them right into the wall because your pet's going to pop up to the entrance, kind of like a cough mage. All right, I didn't want to sit down. Get up, back up, dummy. Okay, now go ahead and we're going to summon your pet. Now, right now, we need him within attacking distance of the mob, because if he's too far away and you hit pet attack, he will not attack. He'll just stand there until you get close enough, and then he'll run in. All right, so this dragon right here, he does not have line of sight of you from here. So don't go up too far, but bring your pet over a little bit, and that should be okay. Let me get him a little bit let me get a little farther. Come on, buddy. Okay, that's going to be good right there. Now guard your pet. And these mechanics are going to work for like any sort of dungeon. If you can get line of sight on a mob and your pet is within attacking distance, we're just using TOV as an example, and it's a great place to practice. All right, so again, I will target the Ancient Frost Guardian. You see he is ready to attack. Next, we are going to SiteGraphed on to our pet. All right, so SiteGraphed. All right, now we are SiteGraphed onto the pet. Now you feign death, because remember, we are still KOS. So now feign death. And look down here and make sure feign death does not fail, because if you're not paying attention and you do it, then your pet's going to get eaten, and then you're going to get eaten, and then it's just going to be a bad day. All right, so now we are feign death. We know it didn't fail. Now we are SiteGraphed onto the mob. Use F9, which I think is the default, I'm pretty sure, to change your camera angle so that we can look around with your pet. All right, so there we go. That'll work for me. And now we're going to go ahead and target the mob back here. And this is why that the macros are so important. So watch. I'm going to pet attack, and then I'm going to pet back. So there, he just bumped a little bit more forward. I don't like this camera angle. It's a little too far away, so I'm going to press F9 again. There we go. That one's nice and close. Okay, now I'm going to pet attack, and then I'm going to pet back. And then I'm going to pet attack, and then I'm going to pet back. So using the feign death mechanics and how they work, my indifference status transferred over to my pet, so he is not KOS. And this is absolutely awesome. This is how you're able to move pets around certain dungeons. Now, from this point, you're like, okay, well, where do you go now? Well, there are pathers that roam through here, and we're going to target a pather and do the exact same thing. Just pet attack and pet back. Pet attack and pet back. And if you're feign death and you accidentally hit the mob, it's no big deal. It just freaking jump kicks your pet in the face and your pet dies. But since you're feign death, nothing bad's going to happen. So at this point, we are going to wait for a pather, and look at, here comes one. Now let's see if I can target him. There we go. So now we have the Raging Wyvern targeted, and you can target any one of these. But now he's going, so I'm going to pet kill and then pet back. Pet kill, and then I'm going to do pet back. Pet kill, and then pet back. Oh, he ran around the corner. Pet kill, and then pet back. And you're just trying to get close enough where you don't hit them. See? And then pet kill, and then pet back. Pet kill, and then pet back. So using these tactics, you can transverse your mob to boss locations and, or quote unquote, walk your pet back to all the boss locations that you want to. And it's fun too to come here and practice this and then explore around. And you're like, oh, I've never been back here. I wonder what's back here. So now we're going to go like this. Now come to this hallway. Is there anything down there? Nope. So here, let's keep going. Or how about this guy? I think he was the other pather. So now I'm going to target him. And now, why don't we go like, hey, I wonder where this guy's going. So let's wait till he gets a little bit ahead of us, so our pet doesn't actually attack him. And then we're going to pet. And I saw something over there too. I can't see it now. So we're going to pet kill and then pet back. And we are using our macros to essentially walk our pet around these dungeons, and it's freaking awesome. And here in a minute, I'll stop my pet and show you where Esadera pops. Alright, so if you were going for like Esadera, he pops actually in this door right here. So you would set up you would set up your pet right here and track. So that's how pet walking the pet, that is the mechanics of it. Essentially, again, you're transferring your feign death status that turns you indifferent over to your pet, and you are walking your pet around dungeons. Now, another way to do this is with a rogue in your guild. So a rogue, you can duel the rogue, and then he stealths and hides, and you do the same thing. He's walking around, and you're pet attacking him and pet back. You're pet attacking him and pet back. Now, you have to be very careful with the rogue, because if your pet hits the rogue, then it kills him, and then your pet's going to get eaten, and the rogue's not going to be happy because you just killed him. So when walking the pet on these mobs, if you hit them, it's not a big deal because it just eats the pet, and you're still feign death and you are okay. If you're doing it with a rogue, it's a real bummer because they die. So that is walking the pet around dungeons, and you can do this in any sort of dungeon that has pathers where you can feign death. So it's really fun to just cruise around and see how deep you can get back in the dungeon. So the next thing to know is that with SiteGraph, it will eventually wear off. So, and you have to have SiteGraph up to see what's going on when the stuff pops, and whatnot. Or yeah, now with pet tracking and getting FTE, essentially how it works is, if you have a rogue walking you, he can actually walk you right on the actual spawn point. So he will walk you right up to where the boss spawns, and then you just stand up. It transfers KOS over to your skeleton. The raid boss hits your skeleton, which then FTEs on you, and the freaking train comes a running for you, and your pullers are going to tag it off. So that's awesome. That's how that works. Now doing it like this, where you don't have a rogue, it is why Blindside is so awesome for, is because you have to get close enough to the mob and then stand up before your pet hits it, so that all the aggro transfers to your pet. Your pet goes KOS, it kills the pet, and then you get FTE. So that's how that works. And if you're using a mob instead of a rogue to walk your pet, you have to just stand up before that the pet hits the boss, because if you don't, the boss is just going to kill the pet and you're feign death and nothing's going to happen. And I did that last night because it was my first time doing it, and I panicked and I stood up too soon, and the trash mob around here killed my pet before I got back to Esadera. So you're essentially waiting until it gets close enough for Esadera to, or whatever boss it is, to aggro on your pet, and then you pop up real quick, and then the freaking raid mob smashes your pet, and then FTEs you, and then comes running for you, and then your taggers do all the magic stuff like that. But yes, that is walking the pet. I got to talk about SiteGraph now. SiteGraph, that's why it is so important, because you have to be able to see what is going on. So eventually SiteGraph is going to drop, because it only lasts for like 30 minutes. So I still have time on my SiteGraph, so we're going to simulate a drop, and you're going to have to refresh it. So let's say we're sitting here, we've been here tracking for a while, and then SiteGraph drops. Boom, and you're like, oh, my SiteGraph dropped. Oh, I got to refresh it. Okay, do not stand up right away, because your pet is over there. I did that, and I trained myself. I did that last night. There are two ways to do it. You can do pet go away, and you can summon yourself a new pet, or you can pull it back to you. If you have a sour out front, then just drop the pet, go away, go out, get a refresh on the sow, and then come and set back up. If you don't, then just hit follow and then back, and now your pet is going to run all the way back over here. Then you can refresh your bind site, flop feign death again, and then walk your pet back to the location. Now he's right there. He shouldn't have line of sight of the dragon, so I'm going to go ahead and stand up. Nope. It is okay from there, so I will guard the pet, and then we're going to SiteGraph again and start the whole process over again and walk your pet back to where it needs to go. So now we are SiteGraph on the pet, so feign death. Now remember, look down here, make sure feign death does not fail, because you will die. Now we're going to change our camera angle. Oh, I don't like that one. There we go. I like that one. And then we're going to do the same thing. And wherever you're setting up as you play more and you walk the pet more, people are going to show you, okay, you target this mob, walk to this mob, target this pather, and walk to that pather. So eventually you will learn what mobs to walk, or you'll have a rogue who you'll just pet walk with a rogue all the way up to wherever you have to go. All right, so now we're going to pet attack, and then I'm going to pet back. Then we're going to pet attack, and then we're going to pet back. Now I'm in line of sight, or I'm in distance of the pathers, and I would do the exact same thing in whatever dungeon you're in or wherever you are doing. But remember to have your this macro is vital. Now, we're going to talk about tracking it. Okay, how if my pet is close, then how do I track it without it hitting the mob first? Because you don't want to, like, oh, Esadera pops and then your pet just runs up and dies. You want to have time to bat phone it out and spam it like in guild, and then at the right time, then you send the pet in. So that's when our tracking macro it comes in handy. You're gonna have pet attack, whatever mob you are tracking, pet back and pet guard. So when you press this, your pet's gonna give the message, attacking Estadera Master, and then back, and then guard, so he never moves. He'll just stay at that one spot. But if you've pet tracked, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It pops up. It pops up down in your chat box, how it did here. And then when you're ready to get FTE, you can either do another macro without the pet back and pet guard, but I just do this: pet attack freaking poop mob. Yeah, so I just do this, so when I'm ready to FTE, I can freaking bat phone it, do all my pops, wait for the word, then click over here real quick, and then I press enter. Your pet goes in. When it gets close enough, you freaking stand up, and then bam. One thing I will mention that is just amazing with a rogue is that a pet walking with a rogue, he can get you right on top of the spawn point. So you don't even have to do pet attack, how I just did down here. You still have to have this macro, because that macro will bring up your pet attack message up here and then stop the pet dead in its tracks so it does not punch the mob, right? So you get pet attack, it says it's attacking master, and then pet bat, pet guard, so your pet does not hit whatever raid free mob it is. And then when you're ready to FT, all you do is stand up from your feign death, the aggro your pet, he becomes KOS, the mob attacks him, you get the FTE, and then it runs for you, and we get our fat loots, boys. We get our fat loots. But I think that about covers it. Again, I would say the really important things to note here is having this to walk the pet, and then when you get in position to where you want to track, then you're gonna have this macro, so the message pops up down here, but he doesn't hit the freaking guy until you're ready to. Yeah, so that's kind of how that works. Another thing, and I've already mentioned a couple times, is when you flop, when you feign death, make sure it does not fail, because we would have already been dead by now. We would have already been dead. Oh, can I get that guy in time? Let's see. Yep. Get him. So now I'm going to stop. I'm going to come a little more. And we're going to go a little more. And I want to scroll. See that? So now, well, look at that, guys. We're freaking running around in TOV. And we're going to try to, yeah. And then you can come around here and practice this and explore. And you might be asking, well, what happens if I mess up and I hit the mob? Well, not much happens, because you're feign death. All it does is just eat your pet, and I'll show you an example of that now. Oh, right now I'm too far away, so my pet's out of freaking attack range. I did want to show it to you. But okay. Essentially, if you're a feign death class, you know how it works. All that's going to happen is the pet is just going to get eaten, and you're feign death, and nothing really happens. Oh, look at that guy. All right, here, I'll do it on him. Watch. So I'm feign death. If you're like, oh, crap. Oh, snap. I messed up. Oh, no. And then he just dies. And then your site graph leaves, and you are back on your corpse. Or not corpse. And then you are back. No big deal. Oh, crap. I messed up. No big deal. Recast a pet, and it gets set back up again. But I think that's it. I hope I've explained it good. One last thing I will say, guys, if you're new to this, like I am, and if you mess up, don't worry about it. Like, everybody in Riot is so nice. Everybody is so awesome, and they are super helpful. And the main thing is to learn from your mistake, like I did. I died twice doing this. Once when I lost sight graft and I was like, oh, I got to refresh, and I stood up without pulling my pet back or dropping him, and I messed up on the FTE because I stood up too quick. I should have waited until my pet got back closer to the boss I was killing and then got FTE. But I think that's it. So I think I've covered everything, and everybody gets all the basics of pet walking. And if you do not know how to do this and you want to learn, hit me up in game. I'll be happy to come and show you guys. Or if you have questions, and again, I'm still learning too, so we can all learn at the same time. But come in here and practice this, because it's pretty fun to just freaking pet walk your guy all over the place. And like, it's good practice. And like I said earlier, it's a really good skill to have in your tool belt. Just any of these little game mechanics that you can learn to help out Riot and get the freaking FTEs and get the fat loots coming in, and just having fun and talking with people and hanging out. It's just super awesome. But I think, guys, that'll do it for me. I hope I've explained everything well. Everyone, that's going to do it for me. I hope you're having a good week. Hope you're having a good day. Hope everyone's having a good year. That's it for me. Peace.